Okay, sorry about that. Nothing like fires first thing in the morning. um, so, anyways, the values of things that the older I get to, the more I see that it's like this is just important in life in general, not just in business, not just in sales, not just in quoting, but just I guess life hacks, for lack of a better word. Right. So some of the ones that I'm going to have in that actual thing are things like taking action and being decisive. It's funny. It's like, everybody knows you can't learn to drive a parked car, but so many times, especially if you're a perfectionist, you want everything to be just so before you launch your business, before you take on that new idea, before anything, you want to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted and everything like that. And at the end of the day, that doesn't work because you're going to see potential problems that aren't going to exist. You're not going to see problems that are going to come up that's going to blindside you. So the biggest thing is being able to take action and for lack of a better word, fail forward. So you take action and it doesn't work. Now you can rule that out. That doesn't work. I can still have the same goal. I just need a different vehicle to get to that point. But you may, if you're one like me, and I struggle with it all the time, I struggle with being a perfectionist, is you may try and tweak that one vehicle until it's right. But as soon as it launches, it's not the right one. And if you can't take action and be decisive and be able to kind of roll with the punches, you end up getting screwed.
This is so funny.
No, you don't do this chair. Let me try. Let me turn this chair.
Yes.
Okay. She said sofa to downstairs.
So we put it downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh,
Yep,
sorry, I thought I was on mute, man.
that's all right. When I was looking for where I could mute you on here, and I can't find it. Usually, if I got you in the side panel, I can do it.
I'm living in the here.
Um, let's see here. So, taking action, being decisive. So, it's interesting when you talk about being decisive. If you read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, that was one of the things he weaved all through there of everybody. He took 25 years to write that book, and he followed all types of the most successful people of his day. And all of the things, every one of them had that one thing about being decisive, making decisions quickly. They all had that one thread in common. And he talked about that throughout the book. He talked about the fact of how long it took him to make that decision to write the book. When Andrew Carnegie asked him to do it, he actually had a stopwatch going under the desk to see how long it was going to take him to make that decision. So he made a decision in less than 60 seconds that affected the next 25 years of his life because he spent 25 years writing that book. But it still goes back to making decisive actions, being decisive and making them quickly and moving forward with your decisions. So that was one of the major things that I'm going to have in that particular thing, and in that particular thing, and then I'm going to hone in on some of the actual way deeper things when that gets done as well. Another thing for principles and values within quoting and obviously sales is tailor your pitch, right? Because you have to understand what a customer wants. You have to understand what that customer needs. And sometimes their questions are just vague enough where you don't understand and you have to ask clarifying questions. You have to ask tie-down questions. You have to ask to make sure that you understand, that you're explaining to them that you understand what they need, so that you can explain to them why your idea, your service, your product is the best thing, while maintaining your integrity, right? Because it may, you have to really toe that line. But if you don't tailor your pitch, you can't really hold integrity, because you're trying to do one of two things. You're trying to make blanket statements that you hope that will resonate with them, which it may or may not, or you're making promises that aren't the case. So that is one of the major values and principles within that type of within the bidding and quoting and sales avenue as well. Another one you'd want to look at is value proposition, having a USP, your unique selling proposition, the things that are making you and your company different, and then showing that value through different style of value proposition to customers. So you should be able to clearly articulate the unique benefits that you bring, that working with your company brings. And you should go one step further and try to articulate that within the proposal as well, so that you can physically show yourself as different. You can showcase your uniqueness. You can showcase your uniqueness to your customer, and showcase the reasons why they should be doing business with you, because of that things, because of not only you understand their problem, but you have a different way of looking at solutions for those problems as well. And then probably lastly on that particular thing, at least for today, is to be real, right? So being real, you want to be authentic. You want to obviously have ethics and integrity, honesty, reliability, transparency, but you also want to make sure that you're that you come through as being. They need to understand that they're working with people, not this fake idea. And sometimes the best way to do that, a lot of times the best way to do that, is just being you. Yeah, will that scare off people? It will scare off some, but the ones that stay will stay longer. So that's kind of my
I feel like people can sense it when you're not being real.
for sure.
They can pick up on that easy.
Well, you come off as fake. Well, when you come off as fake, you come off as salesy. And a lot of people still have that idea that sales, that if you're knocking on doors, or you're doing something that's sales related or marketing, that you're that sleazy salesman in a plaid suit trying to sell them a car that's going to barely make it off of the lot. So, a lot of people still tie that together. So if you can be real, if you can be authentic, it draws people in, because they realize in a world full of fake that you're not trying to conform to that. You're being you. So those were at least a couple of things that I have that I'm working on. I've got a couple more within that sheet before I release it that I've got to tie up some loose ends on it. But for the most part, those are probably some of the best pieces I think that I have in there, as far as, not only for life in general. A lot of them are for life. Others of them obviously are for business only, but I think it's just important, important nonetheless.
Yeah, man, I think so. Because at the end of the day, no matter what business you're in, well, I say 90% or 90, yeah, about 90% of businesses you're in, if not all, you know how technology is advancing every day, but you're dealing with people. At the end of the day, you're dealing with people.
Yep.
So, you know,
That's so funny you say it that way, because that's like my go-to line, right? So if I'm doing a proposal, I'm gonna be straight up. We're not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna happen. This is a people business. We're gonna screw up. However, these are the ways that you can hold us accountable for screwing up so that we can fix it, right? If we screw something up and we don't catch it and you catch it, then you have 5 different ways to get a hold of us so that we can fix it. And you're going to see more from that one thing, because this is a people business. You're going to see more from us on how we are and how we operate by how we fix something than ever coming up to that point of how well we did.
yep, yep, and I know people really appreciate that. Well, the right people anyway.
The right people, and it'll scare off the wrong people, which is just fine. You're doing
Yeah,
way better off if you can get, you can shoo away the people that don't resonate with that they're going to be a pain to work for anyways.
yeah, continuous pain. I've been through it.
We all
Been
have.
through
You guys got anything cooking right now?
Not too much right now. The thing we just did, we just kind of partnered up with this. I think we were telling you a little bit about it, but this kitchen exhaust cleaning guy.
Right.
So he did pretty good because some property managers called us. Of course, that was the original job, but they have some other, you know, properties. They own like the shopping center where we did the hood, well, where the guy did the hood cleaning. So we're trying to secure, but he did a very good job.
Nice.
So trying to see where that can take us. We gave him some estimates for, you know, some janitorial work we saw. We're just waiting. But either way, that's gonna open the door for other things. They can take care of the whole kitchen, but some of these places are gonna have carpet and other stuff we can clean.
Right.
That's the other thing. That dr- that train station finally got back to us, and they're
Nice.
just ready to move forward with the wall cleaning. So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll you know see if we can get that janitorial work going.
You guys are farming out that wall cleaning, right? The other wall, you had a sub that you're subbing it out to.
Yeah, somebody else want to do that.
Yeah. Nice.
Restoration company.
Right. Well, yeah, that just makes more sense. If they've got the right equipment, that just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I'm still curious to see like how they're gonna do this
Right.
because I know that one company we know said like 50, 60,000. This guy said
Jeez.
2,800. So I'm trying to figure it out.
Wow.
We'll see soon. We'll definitely see soon.
20 times as much. That just every time you say that, it just blows my mind because I'm sitting there like that's 20 times as much for the same service. I mean, what are they plating it with gold when they're done with it?
Right. I'm trying to figure it out. But we did discover also this weekend that restaurants, like far as janitorial, might not be the our target audience. We cannot land the restaurant. It's we notice they just want the cheapest price possible.
I never talk anybody out of it when they get there or they're looking for their niche or they're trying to get their niche. And I've had calls with other ones. I always though, like if you point blank was like, tell me restaurants, I'm gonna say restaurants of dogs. And that's just where I'm gonna leave it. The time sucks. There's a shitload of grease and mess and nastiness. If you're doing back of the house and they know that you're doing back of the house and not them, they don't care to pick up anything. And then the hours suck. Oh, and then they're gonna look at it like this. The only way you're getting it is if you can beat the labor cost that's involved in them doing it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when you're trying to do that and you're saying, okay, yeah, there's only two ways you can beat labor costs. One, pay cheaper, which means that you're not going to get good workers, or two, have more specialized equipment to be able to do it faster, which is possible. But on the flip side of that, are you making enough to justify the extra expense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just when it comes to restaurants, that's just my opinion on it. Now, obviously, there's plenty of people that make money doing it and they've got a system in place, and that's great. That's not my gig.
Yeah, they definitely are trying to be cheap. And those hours are crazy. Because we would have to find somebody to get in there at 3 in the morning. Because they shut down at 2. And then they're ready to leave at 3. So I'm like, sheesh.
Now, depending on what you're doing in that situation, though, Rod, you can always flip it onto its face and do morning service. So you get somebody that comes in like 6 a.m. Because usually your preps aren't in there until like 9. Depending on the restaurant, a bit later. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier. But if you could do, that 6, you get somebody in there at 6 to 8, 6 to 9, then that's always sounds better than 3 a.m.
Yeah, because that's what time they open. They open back up at 9 o'clock.
Oh snap! Okay, so they're doing breakfast too.
Well, I guess they just prepping. It's weird because I wouldn't expect them to do breakfast, but I don't know what they're doing. I don't think so. It's a restaurant called Green Turtle. It's
I
like a
got you.
sports bar.
They probably get it. They're getting in there and getting your manager's going to be in there doing stuff, and their trucks will be coming in and they'll be doing their prep stuff in the kitchen. You guys doing back of the house and front of the house?
Really front of the house, not back of the house, just front.
I got you.
So it was the bathroom. Well, we're not doing anything now. We're not doing anything because they
right.
They sure we were probably the highest, and we already had experience with it, and that's why now we're just throwing in the towel. But we knew that they're trying to get the cheapest guy, so we actually bogged our price down as cheap as we could.
Right.
Because our normal numbers was like 4,100, because 7 days a week. Yeah, we got it down to like 32, as low as we could go.
Wow. Yeah, you guys cut that quite a bit actually for what it was.
Yeah, they were still.
They got in there for what, probably 17, 1800?
More than likely. Or they even did it themselves. Like, man, we're going to figure this out.
And that's the thing, right? Especially if you're fighting in front of the house. Now you're saying they've got servers that are making what, $213 an hour. That they're like, all right, clean your section, clean your section, clean your section. There's no way that you can compare with that. Now, granted, if you want to say let's talk about quality, you're paying somebody $213 an hour who's living on their tips. They're gonna bust through that. So is it going to be as clean as it should be? Maybe not. So you've got quality versus the other. Now, if they did go standard, just staying in house like that, you guys may come back to them and say, you know what you really need is you need a one-time a week detail in here, or a one-time a week of the bathrooms detail, or if it's hard surface, a one time a month scrub of all these front floors so we can keep the grease off of them. There's things you could probably build in if you wanted to do that, and things in those things there would probably be money to be made.
Yeah, yep. And the last two restaurants we went to, they were right around like grand opening, so it was brand new. So
Right.
they probably looking at it in their head like, man, this is it's fine, it's good, But man, those restaurants get crazy.
Oh yeah, they get dirty quick too.
Yeah, real quick.
For sure. Yep. You always find the ones you don't want to eat at though if you clean them.
Oh my goodness, man. So, um, dang, we've been to like recently about four restaurants, maybe three out of the four were like in the harbor area, and man, it's nothing they could do about it, but it's mice in there. And we in there cleaning the carpets. Man, the mice just in there like when a mice
Mhm.
a mouse might see you and run. They just casual. I'm like, oh yeah, this is home. They used to this. I'm like,
That
yeah, I don't know if I want to eat here.
Did you see that video that went viral? It was probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was a guy. He was working for a cleaning company, and he went into it was a restaurant in DC. I want to say it was a chain restaurant in DC. He went in there and started flipping on lights and banging on the walls, and the rats were coming out of the ceiling and they were scurrying across the floor. They were just going everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And it was, I can't even remember the whole thing, I guess, other than don't eat there type of thing. But it was pretty gross. I mean, when you sit there and go, man, these things are running across your food prep tables. They were everywhere.
Not even caring. Yeah, man, I saw something. Seen a few of those things. I'm like, man, I definitely start eating home more.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
And then seeing the other side, like I remember I was in close to DC, but PG County, in this restaurant called this out for some some hood cleaning. This is when I was cool with another hood cleaning company. But they're
Right.
in there, trying to get that going. And then the lady asked us about exterminators. And this is why people are in line, right? We in the back of the house. They're like, they're basically trying to find an exterminator for a problem they have going right now, like roaches and stuff. And then they showed us like eggs. I'm like, oh man, I wanted to tell everyone in line, leave now, just leave.
Right.
But yeah, some horror stories in these kitchens, man.
For
Definitely.
sure. For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Guess it'll help you save money though, because you'll eat at home more, right?
Yeah. 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 I need to really start doing that anyway, just eating at home in general.
Right.
You know, definitely not a trap. Yeah, man. I definitely look forward to this info you about to drop.
Yeah, for sure. I'll pull the some screenshots of it and I'll send it over to you and Dom. And that way, you know, if there's anything in there, like I said, just reach out to me and let me know what's up. And I'll send over anything you guys want out of that.
Man, I definitely appreciate it. Man, they got to get on here. They gotta
That's
get
it.
back on.
Well, that's it. Maybe I should actually put that in the Slack comments today. Is like, if you had been on, you'd have been offered this, but you weren't on.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of people that's actually part of this community.
Mhm.
Man.
Sure. Well, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, some people are only joining for specific things that they're looking for. You know, and then obviously if you know, there's probably people who are tons of busy. The question is it the good type of busy though?
Yeah. Yeah. And I experienced this myself. We're we're oh sorry. You know, we tend to be stuck in technician mode instead of business mode.
Yep. It's easy to get in that and super hard to get back out of that.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on, getting out of it. But yeah, man,
For sure.
that's the most important part because you can always find technicians. You know, always find technicians.
For sure. And you
Or
gotta
train
find ways to leverage your knowledge to them so that you can move on and do bigger things.
yeah, yeah. I know. I'm looking hard people. Been working with Juan. We're probably gonna join
Nice.
his program. It's pretty legit.
Right.
Yep. Definitely gonna you know, with all the stuff we have coming in, we definitely need some new people. Definitely.
You guys, are you looking for somebody certified like IICRC? Yeah, RC, yeah, IICRC. Excuse me. Are you looking for somebody who's certified?
Not that you know, we could teach them. Because honestly, not even IICRC certified, but the people who taught me are. So I just need to get that, especially on those water damage jobs, like with the floods and mold and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely need to get that, but not necessarily. That would be best. But you know,
Right. Yeah, I got you. And that's the thing is like, I don't know. I mean, I know certification is important. But like I looked into the IRCRC for myself and I was like, there was a lot of money involved to get into it. And I wasn't doing enough carpet cleaning where I felt like that was worth the additional investment. If I was, you know, doing carpet cleaning full time, then that would have made sense for me to go all in on that for the simple fact that I could have gotten paid more per hour and worked for somebody else. I mean, I probably could be at somewhere around $40 an hour right now working for somebody else. I wouldn't have to drive in any of the work. I wouldn't have to do anything. I just have to show up and do the job. But for myself, trying to drive all the work, get all the stuff, I thought it was a better investment to learn it without spending the extra money to be quote unquote certified. So learning how carpet, how stains work in carpets, trying to learn the chemistry of how things get removed. And I'm sure you're in the same boat. You know all of the stuff. You just don't have a little certification that says he spent thousands of dollars to do this, even though you spent thousands of hours to do this.
Yeah. And I still invested in like our courses, and this is just like 2 years ago, or maybe last year. I'm already like seasoned, and I still learned some things in that course.
Right.
So like probably better than some of these guys who are, but that's definitely something I'm revisit just at some point.
For sure. And you can, if you're not looking to get certified, you can get your hands on the training manuals and things like that. If you look hard enough, you can get your hands on that. So, I mean, if you were only thing like, I don't need the certification, I just need the knowledge, you can find it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like I'm solid on carpet cleaning, but like maybe upholstery.
Have
What
you
did I
tried
do?
with upholstery? Have you tried that back-away upholstery cleaner?
No, but what I did, I used like a similar chemical, thinking it would be okay, and it wasn't. It ruined someone's couch. This was a month ago.
Yeah, you got to check color fastness on everything anymore.
Yeah, that thing went from white to brown. Not the whole couch, but certain areas.
Did it get too wet? Is that what happened?
I think so. But so the guy who makes the chemicals, he has like a Facebook group, and he was just like, "Yeah, that chemical is not meant for upholstery." Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to evacuate stuff.
That
But
upholstery is pretty nice through them. I mean, it's worth checking out. Or it's like $30 or $50, something like that for a gallon. It's worth keeping in your car or your work truck.
yeah, and I just I've been using that steamer as of lately. It's been doing a phenomenal job.
On upholstery?
Hmm.
So it doesn't make it too stiff? Like at the end of it, once it
Now,
dries, it doesn't make it stiff?
nope.
Interesting.
Certain so this lady asked me about a silk couch. I don't think I ever cleaned a silk couch. And then what did she do? Then she asked me about insurances and things. Of course, we have insurance,
Right.
but that just made me look into it more. She asked about insurance. I'm like, damn, these silk couches are a lot of money. Then, oh yeah, I'm not cleaning this. Once I, looked into the process, it's similar to that velvet. I've done that once, and
Right.
I was fine. But the customer kept asking me to. I know it's a delicate thing, but he kept requesting me to do certain things, and I'm like, I'm not trying to get it too wet in here. There's no need. He just
Right.
kept requesting, and it got a little weird. But hey, it's on you. I told you. You want to keep forcing it,
Right.
So I was okay, but yeah, this is before the steamer. But this steamer, it is pretty much damn near dry when I'm leaving.
Nice.
is because I don't have to use what I've been doing. So for the most part, it's like no chemical and just spraying some deodorizer on when I'm finished. It's been pretty good. I've checked with everyone. So they love it. So I had
Nice.
to let me down.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made in upholstery as long as you can do it without, taking your insurance costs through the roof.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people saying certain things like the silk couch and the velvet. Hey man, you need on in person training. You don't need to watch a video or nothing like that. You
For
can do
sure.
this in person. I take your word for it.
Now, or if you're looking for in-person training, have you narrowed down who you're going to use for that?
So as far as the IRCRC, I've seen a lot of people doing more video. It used to be in person, not
Mm,
anymore. Wow.
COVID
So it
changed a
has
lot
to,
of stuff.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. COVID. They changed everything. That changed everything. So I'm gonna do some research, see who here can do it, in that area.
You may want to look. I think John Don still does it. They have training courses, and it seems like they have a warehouse somewhere in the Northeast. So they would have a training at either that location or some big city around there. So that may be someone to look at too. So like myself, when I looked into it, the closest place to me was Atlanta, which would have been fine. I mean, I'm like right here where I live now. I'm like 3 hours from Atlanta. Before I was like 5 hours from Atlanta, so it still would have been all right if I would have went that route. It would have just been overnight stays.
Yeah, might have to do that. Find
But
something else.
I mean, it would definitely be worthwhile because you're spot on with saying if you're trying to learn something like that, you can't just learn it on a video. You have to be hands on.
Yeah.
That just baffles me. Like all the people I see in these Facebook groups that like I watch videos of how to strip and wax. I know how to do it. It's like, oh, buddy, good luck.
Well, you think so?
Yeah, I
Working
mean, there's still
working
stuff.
that machine alone,
Exactly.
be in the wall somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Go put it through a wall. Come back and see me. I hope you have insurance.
But the great thing still about that, like I recently just did a strip and wax job, but Dominique, his uncle, actually taught me how to do it hands on. But I was always watching videos and stuff,
Right.
so never. I was always smart enough to like, all right, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
But when the time was right, it was so much easier once once I got taught in person.
Right.
But another thing was I was super grateful for learning it in person because certain things I was doing, as he taught me, like
Mhm.
not putting enough water on there to really strip the wax.
Yep.
Um, making sure it gets a good rinse.
Yep. Yep.
And I was so they got the no non-rinse stripper now. He's like, man, you need to always rinse the floor. I'm like, you say non-rinse. No, you still need to rinse it. So you know.
The rinsing, your edges, those are some of the big things. When you learn hands-on too, like so if I'm training somebody stripping and waxing and I'm doing a final rinse, I can be like, come here, feel this mop, feel the floor, drag it across, feel it here. Yep, there's still wax there. How can you tell? Feel the drag it again, see the feel the difference. Now take your blade to it, scrape. So stuff like that, there's no way you can train on a video. It's just impossible. So now I'm not saying they don't have their place though. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you watching tons of videos, you probably had a pretty good idea of how you were going to do it based off of the video, and then when you added the in-person to it too, it probably just made it even better.
Yep, took it to a whole new level.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I recommend it. Actually, just watching the video and do it in person. You know, getting the extra training. You can't lose.
Or, I mean, if you can't afford, this is the other thing. If you're watching this video and you can't afford to go out of town and train, then find somebody you can partner up with, do a job with. You sell the job, you let them help you bid it, and you pay them for the job, and you work for pennies, or you work for free, or you work for whatever you agree on, and learn.
And that's the word people are scared of, free.
Well, and this is the thing, right? It's not going to be an ongoing thing. Let's say I needed to learn from you to how to strip and wax, Rod. The first thing, I mean, this is the thing. Firstly, I need to make sure you actually know what the hell you're doing and can do actually good quality work. And then after that, yeah, I may come to you and say, hey, I want to do this, and this is my proposal. Maybe you're going to say, yeah, I'll show you. It's going to cost you $500. Okay, then I'm out of pocket that, or I can say, well, how about I sell a job, we do it together, and then that will be the pay. You can make that money. Or I'll sell a big enough job and I'm going to make some money, but I'm not going to make nearly what I should on that. And you can take a big chunk of that. I mean, there's, I guess what I'm saying is there's ways to do anything, even if you don't have any money.
Yeah. Yep. Because once you learn, I always look at, free is an opportunity sometimes. Like you said, it's not forever. They can't take that knowledge away once you learn it. So,
Mm-hmm. That's it right there. Learn and apply it. You'll be better off.
Yeah, I've been working on trying to apply things immediately. Because, it will leave me.
Right.
It will leave me. That old saying, you don't use it, you use it.
Yep. And that's always a tough one, right? I mean, at least for myself, right? If I'm listening to a book or reading a book, there's so much good value in there. It's sometimes so hard to actually take and apply something because there's so much. But at some point you have to say, okay, you know what? Either I need to stop right now and take this gem and go apply it, or I at least need to take this gem and share it with somebody else so that it helps trigger it to stay in my mind.
Man, that's I think we were talking about it the other time. Like once I linked with Dominique and Priority, that was like a major factor for me. Like man, like because I would just read and try to apply as much as I can, but exactly what you just said, like stopping it and trying to apply it right then and there. What those guys do, they write it down and stuff. I mean, learning, using those gems. Yeah, man.
For sure.
Get that knowledge. They can't take it away.
And that's the thing. I mean, we all have this is the greatest thing, right? The thing you're listening to your book on is the same thing you can write a note in. You can't ever say, well, I didn't have a paper and pen to write it down. Make a note in your phone. I mean,
you can make a voice note.
You can make a voice note. Exactly. I mean, me personally, if somebody got a hold of my phone and scrolled through my notes, there's probably 1,500 to 2,500 notes in my phone. And most of them are based on some idea or something of value that I either have or I have shared or will share. And it's one of those things. Like I have just a complete folder of things that I plan on sharing with the Facebook group, with the Slack group, at some point. It's like, I don't want to bombard people with a bunch of ridiculousness, but at the same time, if I can share, so if I can write something down and then share it on a routine basis, it helps it because it sticks it more in my mind, but it also helps other people who struggle. I mean, if I would have had the things 20 years ago when I was in business that somebody has now, as far as you have opportunity to reach out to just about anybody and learn from them. There's plenty of people in Facebook groups and everything that are super successful, who would be willing to train with you, mentor with you, to show you things, to answer questions. None of those things existed 20 years ago. I mean,
Man, even
10
recently,
say that again.
so even recently that ChatGPT, man.
Yep,
So
exactly.
last this morning, I wrote like 10 blog posts. Well, not me, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
I got like 10 blog posts.
But
Like,
and
man,
that's great, man. Stuff like that is great. And then it's even better when you learn how to make it even better, right? So you go in with ChatGPT is a prime example. You go in and you tweak how you ask it to do something, and you give it more parameters around that so that you get even better quality stuff that comes out of it.
man, that's what I just learned. That's what I literally just learned because I used to just always ask it like, basic. But then
Yep.
I had to realize, like, man, this this thing is almost like a human Google, almost,
Mm-hmm.
almost, of course. But you can really get specific. Like the more specific you are, man, the
Yep.
better,
And
better. And then stuff you already have, you can improve it. Like,
yep. That's it. I mean, that right there, like, I actually just rewrote my entire email campaign with chat. And what I did is I was very specific. I'm like, these are the criteria. This is what I'm looking for. These are the pain points I want to talk about. This is how long it can be. And then it spit me out one thing. I'm like, that's good. Now take this. And then I copied all of my email campaigns that I had at the time, like 7, and I pasted them all in there. I said, based off of all of this information, I want you to write 10 based off of all of this, based off of all of the things I already told you to do. So as long as you're in that same thread too, you can keep improving upon your expectation. If you like what it spits out, but you think it's too long, say, great, now shorten it, or give me that in 5 lines, or you put a call to action at the end of it. And the more exactly what you're talking about, the more you're learning to be more specific with it, the better it ends up spitting out. Yeah.
man, you can write the same thing in different styles.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
know,
Be excited, be professional, be sad, be this, be that. And you'll get exactly what you're saying, different things in with the basic concept. So I don't know if you've seen the things on Facebook and other places, the ultimate Chat GPT prompt, or GPT Bible, things like that. I don't know if you've seen any of those, Rod, but if you do, the $35 or $55 that they are, any one of them would probably be well worth, if you like chat, would be well worth buying, just for the simple fact is it gives you different ways to actually direct Chat GPT to give you better outcomes.
now I know Alice gave Dom something that I've been using, but I don't know if it's the same thing. But I'm gonna check it out. You said it's called the Bible.
One of them, like, I bought one that was by Sintra, is what I bought. But there's another one, various something, that's Ultimate Chat GPT Bible.
Over to Fort Lee, New Jersey.
which basically, most of them are like 10,000 commands to get the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too. I'm trying to get the most out of it.
Well, that's the thing. And like I said, if you search for any of those things, the one guy's name is Darius something. Like I said, the one I bought was through Sintra, I think. They're all about the same. The reason I went through with Sintra is I was using with their program.
And any of those analyze like YouTube videos and stuff?
I mean, there's probably some if you do a search for GPT prompts, you probably find it.
Yeah, I know. I had so I posted a link to a video in the ChatGPT. It was like 3 hours long or something. I'm like, give me the main points. Man, we're unable to do this.
Right.
But shoot, I'm gonna ask it who can. Now I think about it. Like, who can do it?
Right. Have you do you use chat on like a laptop or just on your phone?
On my phone, but I need to start using it on the computer as well. But on my phone.
So if you use Chrome browser, like I just started this about 2 weeks ago, Chrome browser has an extension for chat. So anytime I'm in Google and I type a Google search, I get my Google search and I get ChatGPT on the other side, just spitting out info.
Now that's on your laptop?
Yeah. It's a Chrome extension for my computer.
Okay, I gotta look into that too.
Yeah, I mean it's well worth it. I mean, because sometimes I'm doing a Google search and I'm like, why the hell didn't I just go to chat with this? So it's right there. It's always right there in the Chrome extension on the right, and it just spits out the info. So that way, if I need it, I can always jump in. I can take it right from chat, or I can continue looking for what I was looking for on Google.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely check that out.
Yeah. That has been a nice little addition to that for sure. And the Chrome extension's free.
Oh yeah.
even
nice.
Better.
Man, I set up my so I have a desktop, my laptop. The battery is messed up on it, so I need to get a new one. But I just put my I have like a mini laptop in the shop right now.
Right.
Because like man, when I get home, most of the time I'm going to bed.
Oh yeah.
I ain't even getting on the laptop, so I will, advantage of it on my phone. But once it's like a little tablet and laptop I have, once that gets fixed, I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's definitely nice having the bigger thing to write on sometimes especially if you're doing blog posts and stuff. Having a computer makes a world of difference. I mean, yeah, you can do it from your phone clearly, but having that bigger screen and the full keyboard makes it nice sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely get into that.
For sure. Well, Rod, if you ain't got nothing else, I know I'm holding you up on a job here.
Oh, no, you good, man. But I appreciate you as always.
For sure. Keep an eye out. Go ahead. Keep an eye out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I'm gonna definitely send you that info. For the guy I was telling you with Alex. Definitely send you that info.
For sure. Yes. Send me that. And then you and Don keep an eye out in Slack. I'll send you that other thing we were talking about.
Yep. All right, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Rod. Appreciate you being on here today.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
See you later.